You're listening to the Hunting Land Man podcast. This is Slade Priest, your host, the Hunting Land Man.
Rack buck down here on opening day.
If you're interested in rack bucks and real estate and everything that has to do with hunting property, this is the podcast for you.
Well, here we go. It's Slade Priest, the Hunting Land Man, on episode 18. I got New Ryan here, and it's hard to believe our goal was to do 20 the first year, and we started in February, so it looks like we're going to hit that goal. Today, we just kind of want to, do kind of a year end. We probably get another one in before the end of the year, but kind of a year end, a market update, rut report. Everybody in the Midwest and across the country is like, rut report? Heck, the rut's over. Not here. We're just getting going here in Southwest Mississippi and a lot of the South. Before we get too far, of course, the Hunting Land Man podcast is brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. They take great care of us. Alex is doing his deal for us for another property we're buying in Missouri right now. Yeah, we are buying a second property in Missouri right now. Still got Walnut Hills. Have not made it back up there yet to hunt. Been too busy with real estate, which is a good thing, but hadn't got a lot of hunting done. But as always, this is brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. They take great care of us and our clients, and we thank them for being part of the Hunting Land Man podcast. All right, we'll kind of dive into this thing before we get going too far. New Ryan is here with me. New Ryan, if you know him and all, he's big into the ducks and has made made one big trip and then what, you've gone two other times? Yeah. Just before we get going, tell us where the ducks. We're gonna do a rut report. I guess we'll start with a duck report.
Yeah, we me and three other of my buddies went to Nebraska in second week of November. Had a great time, and it was our first time hunting up there, hunting in the Midwest like that, and so didn't really know what to expect. Knew we wanted to kind of get up that way at least once a year, so I figured, why not start? But it was, we kind of hit it at the right time, but still, we were talking to a bunch of locals up there, and they were saying they weren't seeing near the number of birds that they usually do for that time of year. And with the Dakotas, there was a drought earlier in the summer. People thought they weren't going to be able to hold a lot of birds as much as they usually do in the past, and they ended up getting some more water there towards kind of your August and September. So
and for anybody who's wondering, y'all were hunting public ground or private ground?
Public ground. Yeah. So it was, we also figured out, if you're going to go up there and do something like that, you got to do it in the middle of the week, because on the weekend it can get a little crazy. But no, so the Dakotas, that warmer weather, it was, I think the last 2 days we were there, it was 72 degrees both days. So I mean, it's not just down here where you're battling warmer weather, obviously for this time of year. But anyway, so fast forward, come down back home, and start watching the weather here. And obviously Arkansas opened a week earlier than Mississippi, and I think it was 2 or 3 days before Arkansas season started, we got a big cold front, and it was like, if the season was going to be like the first 2 weeks of duck season in Arkansas, we were going to be in for a treat, because it was like that first cold front came through, and it was just everywhere you were seeing on social media, friends, everybody going out, and all you saw were people were killing birds. And then, first week of Mississippi, even I saw all over people getting mallards and stuff at Lake Mary, St. Catharines, and I got a bunch of buddies that hunt up towards Panther Swamp and in the Delta, and from what I've heard, I have not been out there with them, but from what I've heard, they've gone out there and they've limited every single weekend. So, it seems as if we got a really good first push, and right now just waiting on some colder weather, praying that we'll pull up the 14-day report and see a big front coming. But right now it's just kind of, we got what we have left over from that first push, and there's really nothing migrating right now. So it's been a battle, but hopefully we're looking a little bit greener pastures ahead. So we'll see.
And like Ryan said, it seems to be that the Ryan, you may want to turn the mics down a little bit. I'm getting a little echo off of you. Technical difficulties here. But anyway, it seems that if you've got water right now, you're hunting local birds. And look, I'm no duck hunter, but it seems that the first day, opening day and every day past there, it got worse and worse because you're hunting local birds, getting a little tougher. But if you're in Southwest Mississippi right now and you've got some water, they've done better already than I think they have the last 3 years for the most part.
Food and water, if you got it, that's where they're going to be. And that's what I was saying, I was putting so much emphasis on that first front. I mean, we got from last year, especially compared to last year, we didn't have that early front, late November, early December last year. And so we were kind of just waiting around. Now this year we had that first front come through, and it carried a lot of birds, and we got a good number down here, especially in southeast Arkansas. There was really good numbers from what I saw. But like last weekend, the weather sucked, but we had a storm come through on Saturday, and I was talking to one of my buddies on Sunday. I heard everywhere Sunday was pretty good hunting. Had a little colder mini front come through, but Saturday that thunderstorm was through, and it was kind of like I was talking to him, and he said, we stayed out, rode the storm till 9 o'clock in the morning, didn't see a bird fly until 9:30, and he said as soon as that first bird flew, he was like it was just the floodgates came open, and I think they ended up, there was 4 of them. I think they ended up killing 22, so they were 2 shy of a 4-man. But he said that it was 65, 66 degrees out there.
Wow.
And they were still doing good. So it looks like this weekend, this will be the first weekend since opening weekend.
We're recording this on December 14th.
Yeah.
So if that gives y'all, we're mid-December.
So it's looking like this coming up weekend is going to be the same weather-wise. So, I haven't been able to get out and scout any, but I got a couple of buddies who have been around and know where some water's at, so I'm going to have to get on the horn with them. But, I got a buddy of mine flying in from Jacksonville who's going to be able to hunt Saturday morning, so I'm hoping, he's not making a wasted trip or anything like that.
Is Logan coming?
No. He's got football. They still got a couple of weeks left, but yeah. He's flying in Friday night, and then depending on where we're going, I may leave the Christmas party Friday night and head on up there, but we'll see.
Speaking of, he brought up, we got the year-end Christmas party here at Southern States Realty. We've had such a blessed year. We thought 2020 could never be topped until we topped it here in 2021. We've had a lot of changes. I've got New Ryan here, working with us, and we've had just a blessed year. Been a crazy year, been super busy. In fact, if you're looking for something real estate-wise from 100,000 to $1 million, there's not a lot for sale. I get emails every day. Hey, I'm ready to spend 400. I'm ready to spend 600,000. I'm like, well, get on my email list and get in line. And seriously, if you're listening to this and you're ever thinking about buying property, you need to get on my email list. Shoot me a text to my cell phone, or shoot me an email, shoot me a DM on social media. Get on my email list. You get information like this podcast. You get new listings coming online, and all my listings hit my email list before they hit all the other sites. So you kind of get a little bit of members only, quotation marks, members only access before anybody else does. So that's a good thing to do. But the real estate market is hot. It is, and I know that's a cliche salesman thing to say, but it really is. We're still getting a little echo. You hearing that? Anyway, I know that's a cliche thing to say that the market is hot, but it is. We are surpassed last year what we did, and we're not done closing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pending right now, and we got 3 more contracts out. So, we're going to end up the year really good. I don't think we will get Agent of the Year with United Country. I think we're gonna get that big number 2. I think again, but there's a lot worse things that can happen in the world. But I'll tell you this. Don't expect us to be number 2 for long, because we're coming for another one. I hate losing. I hate losing more than I like winning. But anyway, the market is good right now. Prices are up. It's still a great time to invest. Yes, it is a seller's market, but typically in real estate, especially in Southwest Mississippi, things aren't going to go down. It's like, you're paying $3,500, $4,000 acre for property right now. I don't have a crystal ball, but they ain't going to 2,000. That land, people are buying land because they know it's a good investment. They know they don't have to sell it tomorrow. They can take their kids hunting and fishing on, and it's just a great place to have your money. And it, like I've said before on this podcast, it don't matter what Elon Musk or Trump or Biden or anybody tweets tomorrow, it ain't going to affect land prices in Wilson County or Adams County or anything like that. It's going to stay the same. We've got a really, 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 let me say that, really big listing coming online. New Ryan and I can't wait to get this thing up and going. It's the largest listing we've ever had in Wilson County as far as acreage and price. I've had one in Amite County that had a little bigger price one time, but this is a super big listing. Deer, ducks, turkeys, fishing, crawfishing, everything you could ever want off Blacktop Road frontage is going to be a really good listing. We have not gone live with this thing yet because we've got some things working on it right now, but we're hoping to have that live soon. Can't wait to get it. It's just so cool. New Ryan did a great job with the video, and when you watch it, I don't care if you're in the market or already have your property, you're like, oh, wow, I'd like to own that. It's a property that if you won the lottery, you go look at to see if you want to buy. I guess that's the best way to put it. I guess if I said New Ryan right now, if you had to spend your money and if you had $100 million and you had to spend your money in Southwest Mississippi right now, it would come to the top of mine. Just a really cool place, and really a place that I don't know if there's not really one like it. And I know all property is unique, but this one's unique in a way that
having that history and the multiple things you can do on the property like that, and especially being 15 miles from Woodville, 50 minutes from Baton Rouge, and then
don't give them too much information.
Said, you're on Blacktop right off the
right off the road.
It's
going to be a good one. We hope to have that one. We hope to have that one up live soon. All right. Well, we're going to go now. We've got the duck report. We've got the real estate report. I'm going to give kind of a rut report right now. Okay, Southwest Mississippi. And look, this is a loaded question because what is your definition of the rut? Exactly where you hunt in Southwest Mississippi or Felicianas. You know, some parts of Felicianas were heavily influenced by some deer studies that went on from LSU. Some of their breeding happens as early as mid-November. Now, but for the native genetic, normal Southwest Mississippi, West Feliciana, whatever, typically what I call the rut is actually when the deer are breeding. That usually starts, the majority of it, now some of it could happen tomorrow, but the majority of it usually starts around Christmas and goes to January 10th. Now, I saw a pretty good solid chase happening the other day. It was $2 on a doe. If it wasn't the real deal, they were faking it pretty hard. I don't know. It was a lot going on. You're seeing a lot of scrapes, and I know a lot of people that don't have as big a sample size as I have right now saying, I'm not seeing nothing on my cameras. Me neither. Like it's bad, and I'm not seeing the deer. I can gauge deer movement by my front yard a lot because they're just not moving, and there's a pretty girl walking in the door right there. You ought to marry her in a couple months. Anyway, Mary McLean, New Ryan's fiance, just is about to walk in the door. She's gonna bust in on the podcast. We're gonna make her talk and embarrass her.
I told her we were about to start.
She comes stole your dog.
She's picking up Indy.
Anyway, so I think that I think we're right on target with where the deer are right now. You're not seeing it on your cameras. You're not probably seeing it when you're hunting because of the weather. Literally, it's going to be 63 at daylight in the morning. I mean, you can't expect
78 on Thursday.
Right, you can't expect a deer to move a whole lot in that. Yeah. Now, with that being said, 2 days ago we had, Sunday morning. Yeah. You watch social media, boom, deer dying, deer posting. Had a buddy of mine, congratulations, Spark Plug as we call him, he killed a right out of 200-inch deer in Kentwood. Yes, fair chase in Kentwood, big non-typical. The other day, and so that was a giant, and he'd been watching that deer for a while, trying to kill him, and so any of these little cold fronts, and look, it doesn't have to be 20 degrees to kill these deer. If you're watching, like right now, I'll pull up the 15-day forecast in Centerville. I mean, okay, so we're recording this on the 14th, so if you're looking at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we got highs in the 50s, low 60s, but lows in the 40s and 30s. That's not extremely good weather, but I promise you, your cameras are going to light up. If you got a little vacation time, if you can hunt Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, you're going to want to be in the woods. And then it gets back relatively hot again. And really, I've got the 15-day forecast out to the 28th. We don't have a lot of good weather. Now, typically, I'm a huge proponent of hunt smart, not hard. I think that applies all year, but it applies a lot less from the December 15th tomorrow till January 15th. It's a lot about butt time, because what you're going to see is on your cameras, if you're watching cameras right now, you're going to see deer either you hadn't seen in a while, hadn't seen since last year, or deer that all of a sudden they're going to start making mistakes. Ryan Wascom, y'all don't know this, but Ryan Wascom killed a 5-year-old this morning in Amite County. Really, really good, solid deer. Grunted the deer in, and been watching. He was texting me last night. The deer came in right after dark last night, and he said, I need to get in there, but I don't have the right wind. I told him, I said, you better get in there, just descent, ozone your box stand, whatever you got to do. But he ended up going in there this morning, had does blowing at him, but it's enough of the rut. Does were blowing at him, the does left. He went to grunting hard. That deer come running in, and he killed him. Big old mature 5-year-old beautiful deer. But you need, right now it's about butt time. Go hunt, yes, hunt the wind. Try, if you can, like me, I have to pick 1 or 2 days a week that I can hunt because we're busy with showing land and family and all that kind of stuff. So when you're doing that, you want to pick the best weather days, of course. But if you have the time right now, just get in the stand. And it don't have to make sense. Just be, like if you're rifle hunting, get somewhere where you can see a long ways. Get on a scrape line. Get maybe, if you know the deer's in the area, but he's not coming to your feeders, just get in the area. Hunt the does, because right now, from what I'm seeing, I hunted Saturday afternoon. Every buck that came, the buck walked over to the feeder, and he was standing there, and when the does walked up there, he ran at them. Now, they weren't breeding, they weren't doing that, but the bucks were posturing, making scrapes at each other. They're right on target, and you're going to see those first does start trickling in here real soon, and you want to be in the woods when that happens. You can't do that unless you got butt time. If you are like me and you're sitting there watching cell cameras left and right, and you see one start like moving by your camera that normally doesn't, or either he daylights, get in there. This is when they're making mistakes. And the thing about it is, typically, I want to hunt real smart. Okay, he daylighted to go try to kill him the next day. But right now, God, you just got to get in there. You've got to put butt time in. You're going to see, I want my prediction to happen now. And if you're listening to this and it happened, which I think it will, mark my words, Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, big buck's going to be hitting the ground. You're going to see them all over social media in Southwest Mississippi. And that's not like I'm a wizard or anything. You're just watching the cold front, perfect time of the year. You're going to have close to a full moon. You can argue that any way you want, but Mark Drury seems to be right on a lot of stuff. He kills a lot of 200-inch deer, and he says right the couple of days before the full moon, the couple of days after. So I think we're about half moon right now, what I saw last night. Funny story about last night, New Ryan. I'll go ahead and share this with you. There's a hog report. We're going through all the reports. So I got 2 hogs in my front yard, and I have a $4,000 thermal sitting in my closet and never use it. And so they've been coming to my camera, and it's like they have a camera on me. When I slide in my fresh sheets or whatever, ping, and I'm like, I'm not going to shoot those hogs. And they're not destroying anything. They're just running my deer off, so I hadn't been too bad. But last night, as soon as I pull in there, boom, they hit. I got on my quiet cat. I eased down the road, wind right and everything. I'm like, oh, yeah, y'all are dead. Eased up there, leaned up by the tree, and there was 2 of them. And I got cocky. And I said, all right, I'm going to let them cross, and I'm going to shoot them both. I said, I'm going to shoot them both, and then 2 birds, 1 stone. Of course, they're good to eat, but the main goal is to get them off my place so we're not having – one of them looks like a big sow that's pregnant. So, of course, I'm sitting there watching. They ain't 50 yards. And one of them picks up the head. The wind must have swirled. Whew, they're gone. I shot one running off. Pretty sure I hit him, but who knows. I'll know in the next couple of days if they show back up on camera. But at least I ran them off. But anyway, back to the buck report. We got the hog report. Be in the stand right now. Calling. Ryan grunted that deer in this morning. rattling, all that kind of stuff works right now. And look, it's like a lot of things. Oh, man, I've rattled and I've grown and I've never worked. It only has to work one time to be the best thing ever. If you're not going to rattle any deer up if you don't rattle. Right now, the bucks are looking for any reason to come back. So if you're hunting does or if you're not seeing anything, if those bucks are cruising, and they hear a grunt, they're coming. If they hear a little fight, they're coming. Just got to be in the woods right now. I tell you one thing that I am noticing on my cameras, and maybe you are too if you're listening. I've got the unique situation around my house. I have a lease, another place, a permission farm I hunt, and my house. I know a lot of the neighbors, so we're always talking, exchanging pictures, stuff like that. I'm getting deer right now that they came to a feeder. I was checking camera earlier that it's like 1.6 miles from where they normally are, which is not incredibly far, but they've never been there before. Not this year, not last year.
I think Mr. Scott said he had one travel 3.2.
Right, I saw that.
Camera, yeah.
But so they're messing up. That's it. And those were daylight deer. Yeah. And those deer had never been to that feeder. So anything can happen right now. So if you're only hunting on 80 acres and you got one feeder on it, you don't know if 1.6 miles or 3.2 miles away, somebody's got a 150 on camera. And guess what? You ain't going to kill him if you ain't sitting there. So right now, butt time. I've got a couple of really good deer on camera around my house that I'd like to get a crack at. Now, I've been bow hunting, and all my neighbors are boomstick hunting, so my percentage is not real high. But Bentley, my little boy, he is coming in this weekend, and he will be packing a boomstick, so maybe we'll change that. I think I'm going to bring Asa. I'm going to try to shoot her doe with my rifle somewhere at one of my places this week. Just get her involved. She wants to go, and that's what I want to do. I took her this morning to help fill up feeders, and she's so funny. She wants to know what deer was that. She calls it one deer JJ, and she wants to know what deer is coming to what feeder and their name. And I say, he doesn't have a name, baby. So she gives them names. And then every tree that's pushed over from hurricanes and stuff, he must have hooked that tree down. He's a mean deer, and we need to shoot that deer, and we're going to eat all his meat. So she's getting it all figured out. She's out of school for the week or for the holiday, so she's getting it all figured out. Let me see what else I got on our little report here. All right, as far as, okay, if you haven't, where we are real estate market, if you contract something today, you're probably not going to close this year. Very, very, very unlikely to close this year. There's no drastic event, to my knowledge, that's happening on January the 1st that we don't know about from a tax standpoint, from a market standpoint, from an interest rate standpoint. There's nothing that I know about. Now, you have to think that interest rates are going to start ticking up. They say, not Slade, people smarter than Slade, that we have 1.5 years left of good interest rates. So if that remains the same, we got a little time. We still have an inventory problem. If you see something you like, you better look fast and act fast and make hard offers. I feel bad telling clients. It's like me and a client made an offer yesterday on a track listed by somebody else. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm telling you the truth. He said, okay, I'm good with that. I said, this market right now, we don't negotiate real hard and get to a number. It's a seller's market. You better hit, at some point, the seller wants what he wants, and either you're willing to pay for it or the next guy is. It's a seller's market right now. The things that seem to be selling are your turnkey stuff. Everybody's busy in the world today, and turnkey stuff seems to be selling. So, if you're saying, well, Slade, I want a deal. I want to try to get a deal on something. I would suggest looking at stuff that's a little less turnkey. Put a little sweat equity and think
outside the box.
Yeah. If you're willing to do a little bit of the work, I think you can, if there is a market that is a little bit more of a buyer's market, it is the non-turnkey stuff. Man, we've got some great properties listed right now. In fact, we've got as many cool properties listed as I ever had, just really unique stuff. That 342 in Concordia Parish, I thought we had a deal done on to. They had 2 offers, and neither one of them has finalized yet. Great property, deer, ducks, even got some turkeys around there, but a property that you can legitimately kill 150-inch deer every year on. There's a bigger one on it right now. I really like the 953 on the other side of the levee in Concordia Parish. Great track. If you're from more of east and you want a good hunting track, deer, turkeys, and a lake, that 494 in Pearl River County, that is a pretty property. And for Pearl River County, the deer, God, they got some darn good deer. And look, you think Pearl River County, they ain't got no deer. Look at the pictures on the website. They got some darn good deer and a lot of turkeys. And that lake is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a pretty place.
All the work's been done. You just got to put a camp, so you put your own spin on it.
16-acre lake, I think is what it is.
16, 18, something like that. And food plots and timber. It's a cool track. The Fraser, I just don't understand. If you haven't looked at the Fraser, look on my website, 641 acres in Jefferson County, huntinglandmanms.com. So the Fraser is a cool property. If I was in the market for a close to a $2 million property, I would be seriously considering. Let me tell you why I like the Fraser. You got hills and bottoms, and you got different levels of bottoms. So you got some bottoms that's good deer and duck hunting, and you can make the duck hunting a lot better for relatively inexpensive. And you got some of the bottoms that's dead flat that 99% of the time you never will have any water issue. And you got soybeans, and your front door is literally thousands of acres of soybeans. So after March or April, whenever they plant the soybeans, proteins are relevant because they're eating all the protein they could ever want right there. And the best part about it is you got hills that connects to it. So worst case scenario, we have a high river event in late December, January. Guess what you have? You've got all the deer out the bottoms right there on your bluff. And it's not bottoms that have a bunch of 110s and 3-year-olds and stuff like that. You've got bottoms of people managing and eating deer, eating soybeans, and big landowners. I mean, you can have an average year, you say have 3 to 5 bucks you're hunting in those hills right there. You come January 15th, the water may get to a point to where you have 10. I've heard stories of people saying, yeah, man, I put 200 pounds of rice bran in my feeder and it was gone in 2 hours when the water came up. I mean, that's the kind of things that can happen with that. I mean, you buy the Fraser and you call me and you say, hey, Slade, I killed a 190. Oh, I want to see a picture. I'm shocked. I want to come put my hands on him, but it's doable right there. I mean, it really is. It is a cool situation, and you can kill deer, ducks, turkeys, all in the same track. Pretty cool thing, and really good neighbors. The ultimate, if you have a little bit over $2 million to spend, the ultimate thing to do is buy the Fraser and a share of Southside, the Share Club right beside it, and you can literally hunt like you got $10 million for $2 million. If you're interested in that and you want to hear more about it, call me or New Ryan. We'll tell you. And in fact, we'll come be your guest and come hunt with you. So those are some good tracks. And look, I know I'm mentioning a lot of big stuff right now. We don't have a lot of small stuff right now. Small things are going so fast. They're just, the best thing you can do is get on my email list. And when you see something you like, you better speak up fast because there's not a lot of stuff like that on the market right now. Before we end this thing, we want to thank everybody that listened here to the Hunt and Land Man podcast for the last 18 episodes. If you haven't, go give us a good 5-star written review. Tell a friend about it. Share it with you. The goal of this thing is to educate you about what's going on in the market, talk deer hunting, talk turkey hunting, talk duck hunting, and educate you in your process of buying and selling land and the lifestyle that New Ryan and I and everybody here at Southern States Realty gets to live. Being a Realty land pro. It's a really cool, and we're really blessed to have this opportunity to have this job. And, we like sharing it with you. I mean, I love to hear about other people's properties. I'm sitting there, I watch every Realty United Country agent, Whitetail Properties agent, Mossy Oak agent. I watch them all throughout the country on social media because I'm just interested in the land, the way people are doing things. I love this business, and I hope it shows in this podcast and the way we present ourselves to the market and our properties and clients to the market. But like we started off this episode, we got a really big listing coming in Wilson County. Can't wait to get that one on. And actually got one another one coming probably first quarter of next year that is equally almost as good, not too far from it. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening. All the Cane Lake listings are still available. We didn't talk about that a while ago. Really cool properties up on the Big Black River. We got stuff from $1 million to $10 million up there. So if you got some money to spend, those are some great tracks, and there's some meat left on the bone. They're a really good price, You can literally, if you'll drive an hour north of Wilkes County, you can save $1,000 an acre. So something to be considered. Or New Ryan, you got anything to end this thing up?
Summed it up. We're just catching up, ready to end the year, get started on 2022.
Well, thank y'all very much. Enjoy your family for the holiday. You say if we don't do anything before Christmas, enjoy your family. Take some time. I'm super guilty of this. I'm so busy trying to year in and show properties and stuff like that. Take some time to spend with your families. Go out there and hunt. And man, I was thinking I'm probably gonna go try to swarve something with my bow in the morning. And who cares if I don't? Just get out there, sit in the stand, enjoy what God's created, and be thankful, man. That's what it's all about. I mean, I like killing stuntmen. I don't want to do sunrise pictures, but in all reality, if I can just go sit in one of my stands in the morning and listen to sunrise, it'll be pretty cool. Well, that's it for the Hunting Land Man podcast, episode 18. Y'all share this with somebody, and we'll be back at you hopefully before the first year. We'll try to get a real rut report and maybe even talk about a big buck we've killed between now and then, and some ducks.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Hunting Land Man podcast. If you will, take a moment, give us a 5-star written review, guys. This really helps us out. And if you know anybody you think will be interested in this podcast, please share it with them.